and we will proceed from where we are. It's me, Gloria, together with
Victor.
Exactly. So, Victor, please take us through where we are on Stanbic, Nigeria.
So as we left off, it is actually we left off talking about the digits as of Monday, the share price that was at 72 Nigerian naira, marking a 10% drop from the previous closing at 80 Nigerian naira. So it is indeed a notable dip. Let's not forget Stanbic IBTC started the year at 33.45 Nigerian naira per share, with a current value of 72 Nigerian naira. That's a remarkable 115% increase in the year-to-date performance as stated, and making it the 29th best performing stock on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
An impressive one, Victor, and shareholders must be pleased with this one actually. Looking at the past 4 weeks, actually, Stanbic has acquired around 6% gain, ranking it the 35th in performance on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So in short terms, it seems to be in its favor actually.
And actually now in terms of trading activity, Stanbic IBTC is the 39th most traded stock over the last 3 months on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. A total volume of 111 million shares were traded in 3,740 deals, and this all valued to 7.15 billion Nigerian naira.
And that's quite a substantial figure actually. On July 18th, there was a peak in the trading volume of around 13.4 million shares that were traded. Interestingly, though, on October 10th, actually, we saw a low of around 10,936 traded shares. So it's always fascinating to see how these numbers actually turn out.
Indeed it is. But of course, with updates like these, we would want to give you more insights on the Nigerian inflation rate that has of course been raising eyebrows in this particular financial landscape, and it's actually a troubling trend for Nigeria. In December, the inflation rate was at 23.3%, and now it's nearing 27%. This could have serious implications on the country's economy and its people.
And it's really concerning. The country's annual inflation rate has surged to 26.7% in this September, and it marks around the 9th consecutive month of rising inflation. So looking at the food inflation, which accounts for agricultural products, this rose to around 30.67 actually percent in September, with a 29.3% in the previous month. It's essential actually to highlight how these ones what's driving the increases in food and the food prices.
That's right, Gloria. Prices of items like oil and fat, bread and cereals, potatoes, yams, fish, meat, vegetables and dairy products have all seen significant hikes, and this impacts the daily lives of Nigerians who rely on these essentials. Exactly,
and it's not just food actually. The overall prices is also attributed to higher electricity, traffics and energy costs. The prices of diesel oil used for heavy transportation has actually doubled over compared to a year ago.
And petrol prices have skyrocketed, increasing threefold since the government removed the petrol subsidy at the end of May. That's a substantial financial burden on these people.
Exactly, and actually petrol prices have skyrocketed, increasing threefold since the government moved it actually, like you said. So additionally, Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to allow a free float of the national currency has also led to a significant depreciation of the Nigerian naira. So it currently is, in fact, it's actually trading at around 765 to a dollar, up to around 450 in Nigerian naira in May.
You can imagine 765 to a dollar.
Exactly.
it's actually quite a depreciation. But this depreciation, along with the high cost of petrol, has driven up the prices of essential items, including food, transportation, housing, medicines, and raw materials. It's a challenging situation for both consumers and businesses.
Exactly, Victor. And the high inflation rate can erode people's purchasing power and make it difficult for businesses to plan for the future. It's actually a multi-faceted situation.
Well, the Nigerian government and the central bank will need to address these economic challenges promptly. High and rising inflation can have severe consequences if left unchecked within the financial landscape.
Exactly. And so moving on to Ghana Stock Exchange, we would love to see what happened as of yesterday, October 2023.
Absolutely. So diving right into the numbers, as is our biggest interest, at the close of yesterday's trading, a total of 51,545 shares were traded on the Ghana Stock Exchange, equivalent to a market value of 135,938.78. Now, that's quite a significant drop of 87%, and that is 87% in volume and 70% decline in turnover compared to Friday, October the 13th.
Exactly, and it seems like it has been a quieter day actually in terms of trading activity. The market capitalization on the Ghana Stock Exchange actually stands at 73.9 billion.
Right. And looking at the individual stocks, they were 17 Ghana Stock Exchange listed companies in play. And interestingly, GCB Bank was the only loser, experiencing a 0.28% share price depreciation.
That's correct, Victor. GCB Bank also led in terms of traded shares actually, with around 26,980 shares changing hands. Following closely, we had MTN Ghana with 14,470 shares. We had Fun Milk with 4,072 shares, and Sidestone Ghana with 2,300 shares.
Talking about the market indices, the benchmark, the Ghana Securities, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index, saw a slight dip of 0.01% or 0.24 points, closing at 3,145.09. Despite this, it is interesting to note that there's been a one-week gain of 0.26% and a four-week loss of 0.43%, but an overall impressive year-to-date of 28.69%.
Absolutely, Victor. And focusing on the Ghana's financial stock index, it also experienced a minor decrease of around 0.02%, closing at 1,952.67 points. Interestingly, actually, this translates to a one-week gain of 0.76%, a four-week gain of 4.64%, and a year-to-year date actually of 4.87%.
It has indeed been quite the trading session on the Ghana Stock Exchange. But of course, moving our focus to the GCB Bank Limited, and it is the largest independent financial institution in Ghana. The company started in 1953 as the Bank of the Gold Coast to provide banking services to the emerging nation of for social economic development. But moving on to the information in values, the current share price of GCB Bank Limited is at 3.50, and GCB closed the trading day at 3.50 per share.
Exactly.
It recorded a 0.3% drop from its previous closing price of 3.51, and of course this is supposed to raise eyeballs because it began the year with a share price of 3.94, but has since lost 11.2% of the price valuation.
ranking it actually at 31st on the Ghana Stock Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance. Actually, the GCB Bank is the third most traded stock on the Ghana Stock Exchange over the past 3 months. That is from July 18th to October 16th, 2023. And it has traded a volume of around 1.61 million shares at around 5.64 million over the period, and with an average of around 25,000 traded shares per session. So looking at a volume of around 580 that has been achieved since October 4th for the same period.
Yes, and we are seeing that a big fall all the way from Feb of 2023, according to the graph. But hoping the performance will come up with time, because it remained dormant within that period from Feb all the way to April, and we're seeing a slight improvement within June. We're seeing a slight improvement within May, throughout June, and then comes a decline, but the prices are starting to come up due to various market situations. So of course we will continue to keep an eye for you on this particular stock, and ensuring that its performance is, and judging that it's a financial institution, I do believe so many eyes are on to that price. Actually, as you see, as of September 13th, the price was still at 3.51, and it declined as of yesterday. But coming from GCB Bank, we're moving on to MTN Ghana.
Actually, MTN Ghana, which some people actually know as Scancom PLC, it's actually a public limited company that was first incorporated in Ghana in April 1994 and licensed by the NCA as a mobile telecommunication service provider.
Lovely. So the current share price of MTN Ghana stands at 1.40. It closed the last trading day, which is yesterday, at 1.40. So it began the year with a share price of 0.88 and has since gained a 59.1% on that price valuation, ranking it 5th on the Ghana Stock Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance. And
MTN Ghana is one of the most, actually could be the first most traded stock on the Ghana Stock Exchange over the past 3 months. This is from July 18th to October 16th, 2023. It has actually traded around 154 million shares, valued at 206 actually over the year, and with an average of around 2.44 million traded shares per session, with a volume high of 83.2 million that was achieved on August 17th.
Well, that is it for the insights on MTN Ghana. It's quite an encouraging performance from them, don't you think? And according to the graph, as you have seen, there's indeed promising performance from the beginning of the year.
Exactly.
So, of course, I would want to encourage anyone looking into foreign investment to keep an eye on the MTN Ghana securities particularly.
Exactly, and giving a slight insight on Fan Milk actually. It's a Ghanaian dairy retailer based in Accra. So it was incorporated in 1960 as the Ghanaian Milk Company, apparently. So initially specialized in pasteurized milk, and the company has begun operating in Benin, Togo, and Burkina Faso actually.
Diversification going on.
Exactly. This is around in 1962. The company actually changed its name to Fan Milk Limited and branched out to the production and the distribution of its milk-based and fruit-based products actually over the world.
We are indeed seeing activity within their walls. So Gloria, as of numbers?
In terms of numbers, we see around actually, they had the biggest trading day, considering around July 18th to October 16th, they traded a volume of around 178,039 shares. This is valued at around 443,769 over the period, actually. So with an average of around 2,826 traded shares per session, the volume of around 25,234 was achieved on September 26th.
Thank you, Gloria, for those insights on that company. Quite a lot of, quite some activity going on within their walls as well. Of course, if it has caught your eye, you have the freedom to continue to keep attentive and seeing their performances on the market as and when they fall due. But without further ado, moving on to the Lusaka Stock Exchange, we are seeing the summary as of yesterday.
Exactly, but before the Lusaka Stock Exchange, I would love to give our viewers an insight on the concerning news concerning the Ghana Stock Exchange, actually.
Certainly,
so apparently, Ghana has pursued a rather ambitious plan to its boundaries.
No, you don't say?
Exactly, and considering this a substantial haircut of around 30% to 40% on a principal amount, that's quite a bold move from Ghana.
Quite a bold move.
Exactly, and they're also suggesting a coupon not more than 5% and a final maturity not more than 20 years. That's quite a package they're offering.
But you see, Gloria, Ghana's financial difficulties have been quite severe, and they're looking to restructure a significant portion of their external debt. Actually, approximately 20 billion US dollars out of total of 30 billion US dollars.
Exactly, and it's during Ghana's worst economic crisis, actually, in a generation. They've been struggling and soaring domestic debt courses, and this has been locked out, actually, from international capital markets.
It's a tough situation. It really is, but they're actively working on resolving it. The International Monetary Fund is hopeful that Ghana can reach a debt restructuring agreement with bilateral creditors within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Interesting, and the finance minister actually, Kane Ofori-Atta, actually mentioned that they're making significant progress apparently with international bondholders and hope to conclude these discussions before the end of the year.
It is clear that Ghana is taking the situation seriously and it wants to show its commitment to burden sharing in this debt restructuring process.
Exactly, and Ofori-Atta even mentioned that they are open to considering instruments aligning with the IMF's debt sustainability analysis, actually. So, including state containment debt instruments, the SDCs. These instruments allow for adapting payouts based on varying economic outcomes.
That's an interesting approach, actually. It really is. And it shows that they are willing to explore various options to get their economy back on track.
Exactly. It's actually a crucial period for Ghana. And the financial markets will be watching these developments closely. That's
right, Gloria. Well, this could have a significant impact on Ghana's future and broader financial landscape.
Exactly. So from this summary, Victor, what do you take up on Ghana's financial state?
They are taking a bold move. They're being open. They are trying out new tools within their economy, all the way from their entire financial landscape as a country. They are really open to trying out all these new tools to work on this particular debt restructuring problem. Actually, their final decision to involve the IMF is also quite a wise one, and we are yet to see quite some impressive movements within Ghana's market.
Exactly, and now moving on to the Lusaka Stock Exchange. As of yesterday, Victor, what do you have for us?
Well, Gloria, at the end of yesterday, the trading day closed with a total of 449,581 shares in 83 deals. So corresponding to a market value of 531,562.34 were traded. So compared with the previous trading day on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, the data shows a 32% improvement in deals, and the current market capitalization still stands at a staggering 84 4.2 billion.
Exactly, and for Lusaka Stock Exchange, actually, this was actually established in 1993 and has been quite an interesting journey since then for those who didn't know about it. So it has been an instrumental in diversifying financial instruments in the Zambia's market and offering equities, unity trusts, and both government and corporate bonds. And from the notable indices, the Lusaka All-Share Index, introduced in the 1997 with a best value of 100 points, is a vital indicator for the Zambian market. So looking on to the 10 listed equities that participated as of yesterday's trading session, apparently there were no gainers, no losers.
It's a normal, quite a normal move for the Lusaka Stock Exchange. It really is. But we are looking at the equities, particularly looking at Madison Financial Services. And as you are seeing the graph for the Lusaka All-Share Index, quite a remarkable performance from the beginning of the year. Investors really love to see the graph take air the way it is on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. It's actually nice to see that this market rarely shows any movement. You will never find a gainer nor a loser. You will just find highest volumes of traded shares, and you will still see the market still going up, still showing performances. Actually, it still kind of beats the normal term, the normal understanding of an unstable market.
Exactly.
But we're looking at the equities. Madison Financial Services recorded the highest volume of 425,940 traded shares, followed by Copper Belt Energy Corporation with 9,011. We are seeing Zambia National Bank with 5,512 and Standard Chartered with 4,070.
Exactly, and when we look at the Lusaka All-Share Index, it appears to be holding steady, not seeing any change today as and it opened and closed actually at the same mark, and they're standing at around 9,549 points, and this represents a one-week gain of around 1.44%, a four-week gain of 4.15%, and an impressive year-to-date gain of around 30.14%.
So as you have stated those numbers, we are seeing no gainers, no losers. We are seeing just movers for this particular market. But let's dive into at least one of the highest traded volumes. We are looking at Madison Financial Services, and it was listed on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. We are looking at it is currently the 21st most valuable stock on the exchange, and it's holding a capitalization of 93 million, which makes about 0.111% of the Lusaka Securities Exchange equity market.
Exactly, Victor.
So the current price still stands at 1.86 and closing its last trading day at that exact price on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. Madison Financial Services began the year with a share price of 2.41 but has since lost 24.7% of the price valuation, ranking it 26th on the Lusaka Securities Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance.
Exactly, and Madison Financial Services actually is the most traded stock on the Lusaka Securities Exchange over the past 3 months. This is from around 19th July to October 16th, 2023. So it has traded a volume of around 5.95 million shares in 30 deals. So it's actually valued at around 10.7 million.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with an average of around 94,384 traded shares per session, a high volume of around 5.52 million was achieved on October 13th.
For the same period.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, that is quite a remarkable movement from Madison particularly. But another highlight we would want to get to you would be the Zambia National Commercial Bank. But that will, of course, be after a short break, and we will be right back with more valuable insights on their particular stocks.
Smart 24.